Far beyond the clouds, above the tallest mountains and the highest birds, floated a bright, round moon. He lit up the night sky with pride. But deep inside, the moon had a secret dream. He wanted to swim. Yes. Swim, like the dolphins, the turtles, and the fish he watched every night from above. Every evening, as his light danced across lakes and oceans, he'd sigh. If only I could splash and dive and float in the water, I'd be the happiest moon in the galaxy. The stars twinkled at his wish, but no one took it seriously. Except one. One night, a shooting star zipped by. It paused for just a moment beside the moon. "I heard your wish," the star said, flickering with mischief. "I can help you swim, but only if you believe your light will still matter, even if it changes." The moon blinked. "Will I still shine?" "Maybe not the same way," the star replied. "But sometimes, changing your place changes your purpose." With a swirl of stardust, the shooting star spun 3 times, and whoosh! The moon began to fall. Slowly, softly, like a leaf from a tree. Clouds parted. Wind whooshed. Mountains passed beneath. And then, splash! The moon landed gently into the great blue ocean. At first, he panicked. He bobbed. He bounced. He couldn't see the stars. He couldn't light the sky. "Oh no," he cried. "What have I done?" Success is not the final chapter. Failure is not the end of the story. Both are moments, mere commas in the long sentence of your life, not periods. What truly defines a person is the strength, the heart, and the courage to continue despite all odds, in the silence after the applause, and in the shadow that follows a fall. We live in a world obsessed with results. Trophies. Titles. Viral videos. Promotions. People are taught to chase success as if it is a final destination, a permanent crown placed upon the head. But success, in reality, is just a snapshot in time. It is a milestone, not a monument. You do not live in that single moment of success forever. Life moves forward. New challenges arise. Your character isn't formed at the peak of the mountain but in the quiet climb, the early morning rise, the rejected pitches, the lonely nights, the unseen sacrifices. And failure, oh, how people fear failure. As if failing makes them unworthy. As if missing a mark means they no longer belong in the arena. But failure is not a death sentence. It is a lesson in disguise, a painful teacher with the kindest intentions. Each fall gives you a new perspective. Each mistake shapes you into someone more resilient, more understanding, more human. The greatest innovators, artists, leaders, they all tasted failure, but they kept going. Not because they were fearless, but because they were brave enough to try again. The real question is not whether you will succeed or fail, because you will do both, many times. The question is, will you keep going? Will you show up on the days when no one is watching? Will you fight for your dreams when your energy is low and your confidence is shaken? Will you rise again with scraped knees and a hopeful heart? Courage doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers quietly, "Try again tomorrow." And that whisper matters more than the loudest cheer. That small voice that says, "Don't give up," is the thread that weaves your story of greatness. You might feel invisible now. You might feel behind. But remember this, everyone who has ever accomplished anything meaningful once stood exactly where you are, uncertain, overwhelmed, and full of doubt. The difference is, they didn't let those feelings stop them. Success, when it arrives, is sweet. But it's sweeter when you've earned it after heartbreak and hardship. Failure stings, yes. But it refines you. It strips away arrogance. It introduces humility. And most of all, it introduces possibility, the possibility of doing it better next time. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to keep going. The athlete doesn't become a champion in the ring, they are merely recognized there. Their true greatness is forged in sweat-drenched training rooms, on early morning runs when the world is still asleep, in moments when no one else believes in them, except themselves. The writer doesn't become a bestseller with their first draft. The entrepreneur doesn't build an empire with their first idea. The dreamer doesn't change the world with one thought. But they all start. And then, they continue. That's the secret. You will fall. You will fail. You will doubt. But in those moments, choose courage. Choose the uncomfortable path of growth. Choose to rise again, not because you're guaranteed success, but because the act of rising, in itself, is success. Let the world chase trophies. You, chase strength. Let others define success by numbers. You, define it by effort, intention, and resilience. Let others fear failure. You, welcome it as your teacher. Because when the applause fades, when the critics fall silent, when you're alone with your thoughts, the one thing that will echo louder than any praise or insult is your inner voice saying, I didn't quit. I kept going. And that is the truest kind of victory.